the Loki season 2
Yes, season 2.
premiere is coming out in like 5 hours as we're recording this.
Well, yeah, and as you're watching this episode, it's already out.
Yeah, go watch it. Let us know if we got it right.
Yeah.
So I sent you a tweet in the week that, I'll be honest, it concerned me.
Yes, you did.
They said that Loki season 2 is the first MCU series to have no reshoots. The story that is on the screen is the story we set out to make, is the quote that goes along with that. Now, call me crazy, Horizontal. I don't trust it.
Yeah, I don't think you're crazy.
I can't think of anything that's never had to do any reshoots.
Yeah. It's... So, you sent me that with also a little added on thing of like, there was a strike, so we couldn't reshoot.
Yeah, and this is the thing. They're playing it as if it was their decision.
Yeah, if you look back to like when Loki... I guess it comes back to like, when did Loki finish like filming? How long was that before strikes began? Was there a gap
A
there?
month or two.
So yeah, so they would have only then started production. They wouldn't have got through enough of post production to get to a point where like, oh, maybe we need to reshoot that.
Yeah, reshoots are normally like 3 to 4 months after.
Yeah, once they've started like, oh shit, we've edited this and we need that. Like,
Yeah.
I think you're right. There's definitely, they probably would have reshot stuff, but there were strikes and they were like, we're not going to delay. I think it can't be anything that's like really bad. I don't think it's going to be like scenes are going to be like, oh shit, that whole thing needed a reshoot. Because I think if it was something like severe, they would have delayed. I think maybe there's going to be the odd like, maybe that should have been shot a bit differently, or like something comes across weird, or we're going to get some like fight scene that's very chopped up because they couldn't get extra shots, so they had to just work with what they had. I think some of that like is what we'll see, where they would have maybe filmed an extra shot or two. Like it's a bit chopped up and weird.
It's not the done thing for there to be no reshoots, because I mean creatives are, how do I put this nicely, assholes who want everything to be done a certain way. So they're never ever happy, and that's why they that's why they can make so much good stuff, because they're not happy.
Oh, 100%. We are never happy. It's like, and creatives will keep working on stuff to like non-stop. Like it's never
100%.
Finished.
Look at George R.R. Martin, for fuck's sake. How long has it been since he released a book? Because it's not right. Like,
yeah, a lot of the time directors have a vision, they film that vision, and it's only as things are being edited, they're like, oh, if we edit and then it's like the editors will be playing and they're like, hang on, if edited this way a little bit, okay, maybe we could actually, they see something new and then they're like, okay, we'll just do a bit of a reshoot there, we can get this, like that is a better vision.
Do you know what, even something as simple as after like, if we were the guys making Ahsoka, right? We've watched back episode 8 and we've gone, it's a little bit weird that Kanan's kyber crystal comes out of nowhere.
Yes.
Let's just add a scene quickly where where it just shows him going, I'm good to go, and he shows he's got a necklace with his kyber crystal on.
Yeah.
That is the kind of stuff that reshoots are used for all the time. It's like, oh, we're missing like a bit of context here to keep the thing through. Because when you're coming up with a story, you think about the big bits that matter. And sometimes you've got to think about how do you get from A to B to C. And sometimes it's not quite right, and they want to reshoot something to tidy it up a little bit. I can't think of any modern production where the writer has nailed it so well that they don't need to reshoot anything.
Yeah, no, there's, especially as well, like you say, usually it's in editing where they realize, oh, we need this bit of context, especially because like they'll film it with a set like time, like okay, this is going to go into this, lead into this, when you're editing, things get shuffled around a little bit, and you're like, ah, shit, we need something now actually to tie them together because it's like rearranged. I find it's like they're just straight up lying to try and spin this in a good way. They're like, oh, we couldn't reshoot because there was strikes. We're not delaying. This is what like they've told the director like, no, you this is all you've got. Make it work. And then they've gone, we can spin this into good publicity for us though, because we could be like, oh my god, Loki's the first thing we've never had to do reshoots because we're just that good at it now. And it's like, yeah, everyone's just gonna smell the bullshit.
But even if we were confident that they nailed the story so much they didn't need reshoots, this show is centered around time travel.
Yeah.
That is one of them topics where reshoots should almost be compulsory, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just
I guarantee you, like, even ignoring like any potential big things, there is going to be at least one episode where they go from somewhere where it's really wet to somewhere where it's really dry and they're not wet.
oh yeah, there's gonna
And
be
we're gonna
continuity errors all over the place.
100%. And they're going to be things that idiots like me and you who pay too much attention and the rest of Twitter notice. The real thing is there going to be anything so big that my girlfriend goes, that didn't make any sense? And
Mm,
that is my rule of thumb over whether I'm being anal or not.
yeah.
Because if she looks at me and
Yeah,
goes,
no,
I'm a bit confused about all that,
yeah.
I'm kind of like, okay, I understand that because I spend half my life
Yeah,
reading stuff and
we live
keeping up
this.
to date.
Yeah.
If the person who has watched everything Marvel related and watches it as it comes out is lost,
Mm,
you fucked it.
yeah.
Um, and that's going to be the real test.
Yeah, I think if there's anything glaringly wrong, then it's like, okay, that clearly wasn't shot in that order, and you've like not been able to piece it together smoothly. Or like, yeah, continuity errors, it could be anything. I just find it like it's this feels and this screams like classic marketing of like, oh, we'll spin this thing that might cause us a problem into something positive to hide the fact that like we had no choice in this. It's like rather than the headline being, Loki couldn't do reshoots because of strikes, but still plans to release, they're like, oh, we didn't need to do reshoots. The story is as we wanted it.
It was
Which,
absolutely Disney did not just want to leave a gap in their calendar because we said it time and time again. Once gaps started appearing in the calendar, is
yeah,
when people were going to start going pay the people their money. They needed to get this done before them gaps started to creep in, which
yeah,
is why they've caved and paid the writers because they've run out of stuff that could be turned into products.
hmm,
And then they will cave in the next couple of months and pay actors so that they can get back on top
hmm,
of producing content. There might still be a gap, but they will hide that gap as best they can with delays and reshuffles of projects, which we've seen 3 times already.
I will say, we are. I am obviously hopeful that Loki season 2 is good. We are a lot. I would say I'm, and I think you're the same. Nowadays, MCU doesn't get the pass that it once got.
No, not at all.
Like its recent showing with its shows. I'm going into this expecting a pacing issue. I am expecting the final episode to be a rushed mess.
Yeah.
Um, and I hope to be pleasantly surprised. I hope that this kind of like opens up more of the Kang stuff and kind of sets up some new things and doesn't actually answer everything. Um,
Well,
I'm
I mean, there is big questions to be asked about the Kang stuff because we had Jonathan Majors on top of the world after Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania and Creed 3.
mhm,
Then there was him being arrested.
and all the
Uh,
trial.
by the sounds of it, there won't be a trial because all the
Oh yeah,
charges got dropped. But were they dropped because he didn't do anything wrong and it was actually a misunderstanding? Was he never actually charged? Or was the person who accused him too scared to go any further? And
I don't know.
he's very much been told, a la what we expected Warner Brothers to do with Ezra Miller, um, go sit in that corner, gut the fuck up,
And let
stay
it pass.
quiet, let it pass. Don't
Yeah,
make any noise. Don't bring any attention to yourself. It's a 2 week news cycle. If you can stay quiet for 2 months,
Yeah.
when it eventually comes back to us needing you for stuff,
Hmm.
you'll be out of 99% of the public's minds and you'll be able to do whatever you want.
Yeah. And I mean, with Loki now coming in, probably start reappearing again, and also the strikes all been over. Disney's going to be pushing them to all do press because they
Oh,
need.
no, Actor Strike's still on.
Oh yeah, Act One is still on.
Yeah. SAG after us.
So
Yeah,
yeah, there
SAG
is
after
going to be
still
no
charging.
press for Loki.
Yeah,
Forgetting, which actually in a way works in their favor.
100%.
Yeah, this season's going to be interesting. I'm hopeful. I just worry from the current track record we're getting from Marvel with their shows that it's not going to be anything special.
The thing we need to remember, and I especially can sometimes be a victim of this, because while I do have my own thoughts, I'm always interested in what the community has to say, because sometimes they make me consider things from a different point of view, or this, that, or the other.
Hmm.
But I'm finding it less difficult, more difficult to engage with the community in an honest way now because it's it's cool to hate stuff.
Well, that's
And
always the case.
yeah, it's always been cool to hate stuff, but for the longest time, it was cool to love Marvel regardless. Which meant for a little while I was the arsehole who went, well, that wasn't actually good enough.
Yeah,
Now it's the flip side where it's cool to hate Marvel. So I'm like, no, that was actually okay. Was it perfect? No, but it was okay. And they're like, no, it's dog shit. Sick of it.
yeah. This goes from one extreme to the other.
Yeah. It's like recently we've just seen no one hates Spider Man more than Spider Man fans. They just complain about everything.
Yeah,
I just it's really difficult to engage honestly with a fan base and try and work out what is valid criticism for not when everywhere where communities meet turns into a bit of a hive mind.
hmm I know what you
Um,
mean.
so it ends up me kind of having to take that opinion and then kind of deconstruct it, which just adds so much more lead work into people being honest about their opinions.
Mm.
I think Loki is going to be enjoyable. I do expect it to have pacing issues, and I don't know what they're trying to achieve with this series.
Yeah, that's what.
It feels like we've had a number of projects centered around opening the multiverse, and Loki was the first one of them, and it wasn't the
Yeah,
last one. So where are we now?
I
Because
worry
we've
that
met
this is
Kang,
just going to be like trying to explain more about Kang.
because we've met Kang,
Yeah,
we've met the Council of Kangs.
yeah,
What is this going to add?
yeah,
And if it's
exactly.
not going to add anything, are we just going to be disappointed that it's not adding anything? Or is it going to be so good that we're actually kind of like, you could have just cut all of the Kang stuff out of this and just made it a fun, let's run around time
Yeah,
and solve crimes?
yeah.
Um,
I guess we'll find out.
yeah, it's a odd one.
It is.
I trust Tom Hiddleston will give us an enjoyable Loki performance.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I trust Owen Wilson will be good as Morbius again.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing Sylvie again.
Mm-hmm.
Story wise, I don't know what I'm expecting, which is kind of nice. But at the same time, I'm
Yeah.
just like, does that just leave room for disappointment?
Yeah, I get you. I get what you mean.
Um, but yeah,